All right, today I'm working on a Porsche. This is a 2000. I believe the 98s to 2000 will be the same setup. I think 2001 and up will be a different expansion tank. It'll be a little bit more bigger from what I was reading on the TSB. Long story short, customer took the Porsche to a mechanic shop. Mechanic shop started the job. Couldn't get out the expansion tank, end up damaging the sensor, stopped the job because they couldn't figure it out. They're gonna pay for the sensor. Basically, they try to replace this piece, but this guy was end up broken right here. It's cracked right there. So what I am gonna tell you, because there's actually no information on how to remove this sucker. I'm just gonna kind of show you what I did. Basically, you would have this little intake duct that goes right here. You would take that off. Then you would have a smog pump right here. This will be the secondary air pump. That'll be that right there. So you would take that off too as well. You'll have one connector. And then it was already unbolted. There was no bolts holding it. I believe they're 10 millimeters. Literally there's no bolts holding it, so I think they tried to do that. So then I got it all wiggled out, trying to take it off because it was like stuck right there. So I tried to see if I could play with it. There was no way to get it out. So for right here, there's going to be these two hoses right here. There's an evap and then I think a fuel line hose return. So they're going to be pushed right in here. You're going to push those down so that these guys can be free. Then you're going to go ahead and take off your hose clamps. And then make sure you unplug this guy right there. That's going to be for the recovery tank to let you know if you're low on coolant or not. And then obviously unplug the secondary air pump. You'll go ahead and squeeze these guys right there, and then this should pull out. This is only going to go in one way. It's a power on, power off. Then obviously we're going to take off this lower hose that's right there. So it's pretty much just a few clamps. So right here, there's going to be one right here, one right there, and then one right there. And then this one you will just pull off by hand. You'll squeeze that out. I think that's what it was. I didn't see any hose clamps on there, but pretty sure that's just being like that. That should be like an escape pressure. Yeah. So this thing ain't held on. So if there's any like coolant right here, that'll be the drain. Then this guy is kind of like slid in halfway right there. And you just push down. So when you put it back in, it's going to go in like not in all the way. You don't slide it in like that. So it's going to go in partial way. You just push it up and then it'll lock right in. What else? Okay, so and then also when trying to take this guy off, so you need to put this hose down under this guy. So you need to make sure that that hose is on the bottom of this. So put that hose down on the bottom of that. If you can, make sure you take off this hose. It'll be easier. If not, you can actually just push this aside. Make sure that this hose is not in the way of this guy too again. And then obviously you're going to use a little bit of brute force when pulling it out. You're going to it's going to kind of twist in like that. So it's obviously going to go in right there, and then you're going to get it right there and you're going to twist it out. So you're going to have one hand right here, with your right hand right there pulling, and then as you're kind of with your other hand right there on the bottom pulling right back. But before you even try pulling it out, what you got to do is you got to lower this motor mount. You got to take off this motor mount bolt right here. So let's say we're looking right here on the driver's side. Going right there, there's a little bracket that holds that bolts up to the block. So it's going to be an 18 millimeter. I have the car jacked up right there, and then I have the car lifted, and then just let the motor drop just a tad bit, not too much. So I just unbolted that, and then that was enough room for it to take off. Pretty much that was an 18 millimeter. You're going to need a deep socket, unless if you do use a short stubby socket. This is how you're going to have the socket. So because the stud's gonna bottom out right there and it won't close, and then your bolt will just be sticking out. Then I think the inspection tank is being held on by one 10mm right here. I think you're just pretty much gonna be needing like a few 10mm, a hose clamp, pliers, probably a flathead screwdriver, and I think that's about it. For this little intake duct that goes up right there, up to the trunk lid, that you just pull out like that. So they're gonna be clipped in right there. So just literally pull out like that. And then once we pretty much put in the recovery tank, that should pretty be easy. I would recommend to put in the recovery tank, then put in the sensor, because you might have a pretty good chance of breaking the sensor. I would recommend to replace it anyways, since you're right there. Might as well get a new one. So that's what I'm gonna end up doing. I gotta wait, order the sensor, because obviously I had to see what was up, because they couldn't figure it out. But if this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up, comment down below if you have any questions, and then hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos in the future. And thanks for watching. Alright, so I'm going to kind of show you the little struggles and wonders of how this sucker goes right in. I put on the sensor, so if I feel like the sensor is going to break out, then I'm going to see if I might need to take off the sensor. But again, we have the motor mount bolt taken off, so we're going to go ahead and slide this right in. Alright, so we got that connector in, and then the rest is all history. So we'll just move on over this hose. And obviously, at this point, we'll just slide this up middle ways, just like that. But I'm going to go ahead and connect the hoses right now, because it's more easier at this point. But yeah, so you would get this about halfway in, slide it right in, and that's pretty much it. All right. So that's pretty much it. We'll go ahead and put back on this bolt, put on the secondary air pump, and then put back on the air filter housing, duct. And then, yeah, we're pretty much good to go. I'm not going to show the bleeding procedure because I have a little vacuum gauge. I guess you have to hold this up. You push that to relieve the pressure. But since I got the tool, might as well use it. But if this video helped you out, give it a thumbs up. Comment down below if you have any questions. And then hit that subscribe button for more upcoming videos.